surgeries until age 19, citing insufficient evidence that benefits outweigh risks. Okay, that's the first one. Immediately following on the heels of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons is the American Medical Association. AMA comes out and agrees. Well, sorry, I'll use their exact words. They say that they generally agree with the findings of the Plastic Surgery Association. They don't even say they specifically agree. They come out, they say, quote, "The evidence for gender-affirming surgical intervention is insufficient for us to make a definitive statement, though the AMA says they support other kinds of gender-affirming care for minors." Which doesn't make any sense. Hold on, you support pushing transgenderism on minors. You say there's enough evidence to change their pronouns, treat them like they're the opposite sex, through psychological therapy, say, inform them in their delusions, put them in the girls' bathrooms, put them on the girls' swim team. Theory, but there's not enough medical evidence to give them the cross-sex hormone or the puberty blockers. Well, hold on. Can boys become girls or not? Can boys become girls or not? The American Plastic Surgery Association is basically saying, maybe
say that again, yeah.
So let's not do it to the kids.
I've heard of many different
They're saying, well, no.
replacement theories, but which one are you talking about?
We believe boys can become girls, so we're going to keep giving them gender-affirming
Which one do you think I'm talking about? Oh,
do anything
I don't know, that's why I'm asking.
We're not going to do anything.
Well, which ones have you heard of?
Anything to get us sued. That's what this is all about.
Well, I guess the main one would be
Westchester, and a detransitioner just
whether
won
it's
$2 million
replacement of Europeans or Americans.
When she was
I guess Canadians isn't a thing anymore.
That's what this is all about.
Japanese too.
This is the AMA and the Washington Post.
By
sorry,
whom?
the AMA and the Plastic Surgery Association, as being reported in the Washington Post, saying, shoot.
Don't know.
We're on the wrong side of the law.
You don't know, huh?
We don't want to get sued. We don't want our members to get sued. Okay, we'll back off. Now, they're not admitting that. They're saying, well, we're just following the evidence. What evidence changed? What are you following the evidence? AMA, how are you following the evidence? You're speaking on both sides of the mouth. You're saying things that contradict each other. You're saying there is no evidence, there's not enough evidence of transgenderism to do any of the procedures that could get you sued, but there's enough evidence of transgenderism to do the procedures that won't get you sued.
Nice.
It's so cowardly. It's so cynical. You guys are just out there to protect your members and your members' wallets. At least the Children's Hospital of Minnesota admits this. Children's Hospital.
How does it feel having your women taken from you?
Prescribing puberty-blocking drugs and
I don't know, dude.
minors.
They seem like a headache, so...
Specifically as they seek gender-affirming care because of, quote, an increase in federal actions directed at health systems like ours. So they're not saying we're following the evidence.
How does it feel giving your women the right to vote and they vote for this? Ho, ho, ho.
Fine by me. That's
an honest take. Feels like.
That's the same exact thing the American Medical Association and the Plastic Surgery Association believe. They just don't want to admit it. And it's fine by me, because here's a key lesson to conservatives. We need to bring the full weight of the government through prosecutions.
Don't worry, dog. When World War III comes, they'll totally serve alongside you, dog.
I know the libertarians don't like the sound of that. We need to
bludgeon
these people in courts of law with every statute we can muster, with every civil claim we can muster. We need to force them to kneel and say,
they'll arm you with a pistol while they give the women
it was not the open marketplace
the real
of
guns.
That convinced the American Medical Association and the Plastic Surgery Association and the Minnesota Children's Hospital to change their behavior.
Probably.
It was not open, free debate. Some of the debates maybe played a little role in convincing the normies to turn the public opinion against
that's how we're going. By the time that happens, they'll need to do that to conserve.
I guess way downstream, or upstream, I guess,
all the ammo.
Debate played a role. But it was not just that the truth prevails in the open marketplace of ideas. This is the brutal force of government and law. That's what happened. And
how do you figure that out?
Say uncle. In the same way that big tech and even some of the entertainment companies,
that's what they did in
which had been clobbering Trump for years, which had been cheering
every other guy ammo
Trump
and
was
a gun.
being censored, deplatformed, almost kicked off a ballot, almost
one guy gets a gun, one guy gets
until Trump won again. And then they show up to the Oval Office and they shine his shoes. They kneel down, they kiss the ground he walked on, because they were afraid that he would crush them. And that's good. That's one of the reasons that we elected Trump. It's one of the reasons most people elected Trump. Trump won the popular vote. I love this. Do not give the AMA, the Plastic Surgery Association, or any of these children's hospitals any credit. They deserve zero credit. They are acting entirely out of servile fear, which is fine by me. Their credibility has been permanently destroyed. The fact that the American Medical Association ever, even for 1 second, said that men can become women, and especially that little boys can be little girls, means that their credibility has been permanently destroyed. In matters ever, even for 1 second, said that men can become women, and especially give the AMA or the Plastic Surgery Association or any of these children's hospitals any credit. They deserve zero credit. They are acting entirely out of servile fear, which is fine by me. Their credibility has been permanently destroyed. The fact that the American Medical Association ever, even for 1 second, said that men can become women, and especially that little boys can be little girls, means that their credibility has been permanently destroyed. In matters of open, honest conversation, I don't want anyone ever to cite them as an authority or a source. They don't know anything. They deserve zero respect. But I am very pleased that they're going to come along and play ball now, because we made them play ball. That's fine. No credibility, no respect. Get down on your knees and say uncle. Absolutely. Beautiful. Big problems in the medical profession, even beyond the trans issue. There is a Chicago area nurse who is calling on other nurses to let ICE agents bleed out. We'll get to that momentarily. First, though, I want to tell you about Tecovas. Go to tecovas.com/Knowles. Excited. Smells and Bells candle is back. We're looking ahead to Lent. Very, very exciting this penitential season. And I said, order it now, and order 2, and order 3 or 4, however many you're going to want, because it's going to sell out, and I don't want angry emails. What happens? Less than 24 hours, our stock sells out, as I predicted. I was very pleased. Thank you. I'm glad that all of you like the candle so much. It's my favorite candle, too. I had the candle team calling, was it yesterday or the day before? I had them calling to see if we could get more glass, if we could get more resources. Okay, we sold out of the initial stock. We do have new vessels. We have enough vessels to make more candles. I don't know how many we have. However, here's
I ain't got no juice in my house.
Crystal clear glass, not this slightly amber tinged glass.
Whose fault is that, dog?
It's the same candle, it's the same wax, the glass is a slightly different color.
People do the groceries.
Because I don't even know how much
and
more.
And who the fuck is that?
Okay? They said to me, Michael, do you think that the people will be okay getting the candles if it's in a slightly different
Mom and
glass?
Dad, I
think
guess.
they'll be okay. I think they just want the candle. I don't want to get angry emails. It's a great. It's a
about
great
blaming
candle.
your problems on everyone else, huh?
I don't know what's going to happen next time. We've sold a lot of candles. You have bought a lot of candles. I appreciate that. You
what, don't you do that?
Get your Smells and Bells candle.
Actually, do I go to the grocery store? Yeah, I do.
I don't even know. I haven't even looked at it. TheCandleClub.com. A nurse in the Chicago area has called on.
What if they don't drive you, dog?
To let ICE agents bleed out in the hospital.
Then I'll walk across the street and get it.
Have in this country? One of our
own what do you get
in the street.
If they don't drive you?
So
I guess he's talking about Alex Preddy.
I'll get pizza, dog. Over there.
Got himself killed
somehow. Thoughts?
Good morning. Did you know most ICE agents don't wear their plates properly? I've seen it, dude.
You know, as the type of ICU nurse I was cardiac ICU nurse. And I did a lot of time, lots of hours, holding on a groin that wouldn't stop bleeding. Let me tell you what, that femoral artery.
So you could walk to the store, no problem now.
It's late in my shift, okay?
Well, I've been walking across the street for
anyway,
as long as
in the leg, it really bleeds.
I could. Probably
well. Someone could bleed out very quickly from that. Probably like
December, I was still walking across the street. I was maybe
this guy,
getting driven the way back.
He's still working as a nurse. He's still got his stethoscope on. He says he was an ICU nurse. Happily, I guess they moved him out of there. He's telling his fellow nurses to let the ICE agents bleed out. Okay, total lunatic. What's his name? Hat tip to libs of TikTok here. I guess his name is Chad Malinowski. He works reportedly at Midwest Express Clinic and Carl Hospital. That's according to his LinkedIn. Obviously, he needs to be fired. He needs to lose whatever license he has. He needs to never work in that field or anywhere near that field ever again. Obviously, no question about it. that has to happen not merely to keep him, a dangerous psychopath, away from ICE agents, away from, I don't understand, normal people generally. If he's willing to murder ICE agents, I don't think he would stop there. But he has to be fired, and people like him have to be fired, because his presence in the healthcare system poses an existential threat to the entire American healthcare system. Do you understand that? I think probably you do understand that, but there are going to be some libs out there who don't understand that. There's no hyperbole whatsoever. The existence of one of those guys working in the healthcare system poses an existential threat to the entire healthcare system, because the healthcare system is based on trust, the trust that patients have for the practitioners. You're in a very vulnerable position. This is true in other industries. It's true in food. It's true in teaching.
I got
it's
Horizon
less true in some industries. It's less true, I don't know.
Nice,
You
dude.
go to the convenience store and you gotta pick up a Coca-Cola or a pack of cigarettes or something.
Yo, guess who I met in that fucking game, dog?
Hands you the Coca-Cola, there's the seal on it. You're fine.
Fucking
when it comes to the medical industry, when you go there,
nice.
You bring your kid there. You're saying, okay, I trust you
fucking
to
piece
slice
of shit,
open
dude.
this person. I trust you to
gotta go to one of the
save
underground parking lots, dog.
If you
He's
have
there.
anyone in that system who says, hey, we're going to target ICE agents, we're going to kill them, we're going to let them bleed out, the whole system loses credibility. The whole system loses. I just talked about how the American Medical Association now has zero credibility, never will have any credibility again. As long as these people are not immediately fired and seriously punished, and everyone like them immediately fired and seriously punished, the whole system loses credibility. We talk about the crisis of American healthcare. This is a much bigger deal than Obamacare premiums going up, okay? Speaking of threats on ICE agents, it's not just from these lunatic random nurses in Chicago. Jerry Nadler. Jerry Nadler, who's been a member of Congress since just after the Civil War, I think. Nadler, stalwart Democrat from New York. He is now openly encouraging people to murder ICE agents, to shoot them.
What is really the major problem in this country today is the fascism in our streets. The attacks on American citizens by masked hoodlums. If you were attacked by a masked person, you might think you were being kidnapped. You'd be justified in shooting the person to protect yourself.
If I were apprehended by a masked person, I might think I was being kidnapped and I would be justified in shooting that person, claims Jerry Nadler. That obviously is not true. It would depend on who the masked person was. If the masked person were wearing all black and were speaking to me in some kind of threatening vernacular and were asking me to hand over my wallet or, get him a ransom or something, then I would think maybe I'm being kidnapped. If the masked person had badges, ICE, law enforcement, an American flag, was there as a representative of the civil authority, which is the legitimate government, the government for which Jerry Nadler works, sadly. If he were that guy, I would not think I was being kidnapped. I would think that I was being arrested and being put through due process in the American justice system. Things that have superficial similarities are not necessarily the same. Marital sex and rape could look somewhat similar. Could. Again, I don't want to be too evocative. It's a family show. I'm just saying the physical action, the basic physical action that defines those two acts, without any of the attendant behaviors that go along with it, are identical. It's like, I'm not going to spell it out for you, but they're identical actions, and yet those two actions are totally dissimilar. When you describe the context of them, they're totally dissimilar. The same goes for being apprehended. It's true. If someone comes up behind you and grabs you, you could feel like you're being kidnapped unless you're, playing flag football or something. You need the context here. So Jerry Nadler, maybe he's just dumb as a box of rocks. Maybe I don't think he is, but maybe he is. But if he's not, then he's being very cynical here. And he's making an argument that he doesn't even believe. And he's saying that you should go shoot cops. Go out there and shoot cops. Jerry Nadler is an old guard Democrat. He's not even an AOC or an Ayanna Pressley or a Jasmine Crockett. He's supposed to be the old, stodgy one. This shows you how radical the Democrats have become. Jerry Nadler, he's of the Pelosi era. Jerry Nadler's coming out saying, hey, ordinary constituents, go shoot cops. Go out there. Hey, go out there and shoot cops. And you have to ask yourself, why is he doing this? I guess it could just be stupidity, ignorance, profound vice. I suspect there is a little bit of a political strategy here. I think the Democrats want chaos in the streets, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. Because it doesn't stop. Oddly enough, Jerry Nadler's calling on people to shoot cops is not the most disturbing video going around right now. We'll get to what it is momentarily. First, I want to tell you about Masa Chips. Go to masachips.com/Knowles. You do not have to overhaul your whole life in 2026. Start with simple swaps, like upgrading your snacks to ones with real ingredients, like our sponsor, Masa. It's an easy way to eat clean without feeling like you're on a diet. Masa Chips contain just 3 ingredients: organic nixtamalized corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. No seed oils, no mystery chemicals, just real food that tastes incredible. Unlike regular chips, Masa leaves you feeling satisfied, light, and energetic. No crash, bloat, or sluggish feeling afterward. Because they're made with real ingredients, they're more satiating. You will not find yourself binging and still feeling hungry. Personally, my favorite flavor of Masa is the original. I think you can't beat the original. If you love Masa, check out Vandy, Masa's sister company. It makes the most delicious 3-ingredient potato chips I've ever tasted. It's just, both Masa and Vandy are just something different that I actually will fail to convey. Even though I am a lexical professional, my job is to use words in an evocative and precise way. Words fail me to properly convey how delicious these chips are. If you're ready to give Masa a try, go to masachips.com/Knowles. Use code Knowles, Canada VOAS, for 25% off your first order, or simply click the link in the video description or scan the QR code to claim this delicious offer. Don't feel like ordering online? Masa is now available nationwide at your local Sprouts. Stop by, pick up a couple of bags before they're gone. There's a liberal mother in Portland who's gone viral. She has a lot of studs in her face. They're not rings, they're like studs. She obviously has a lot of problems. This woman, though, says, do any other moms think this way? Please tell me I'm not alone. She describes how she plans to murder her children if ICE shows up to her door.
I really pray it doesn't get bad enough. But being a mom in America, I had to stop walking for this. I often think that if it gets to the point of knocking on doors, God, and like, to even have these thoughts, it's like I'm literally separating from reality right now. If it comes down to me taking out myself and my kids versus us being taken and harmed by ICE, like, God help me, I did not want to do it. This is not the life I wanted. But that is a very dark thought that I've had. Death would be a easier out than for my children to be taken and harmed by these pedophiles.
Oh yes, this is going viral on social media, and people are really disturbed by this. This woman says that, I guess she's illegal.
Dog.
Maybe she's illegal, maybe she's not illegal. I don't know. There's this totally irrational fear of ICE being stoked.
How's your favorite uncle, dog?
Democrats who are calling on them to be killed, comparing them to Nazis.
Yeah, which one's that?
But in any case, this woman's claim is
Tim
it
Walz.
would be better to commit suicide
Nice,
and infanticide and murder children than to be arrested.
Come on now, I know you guys are blood related.
A lot of people are shocked by this and horrified.
Yeah, if I was
And
blood related,
really
one
don't
of
know
us
why.
has to go.
If you are
And if it's
shocked
me,
by
it's
this,
fine.
You've clearly never heard the libs talk about abortion
Nice.
and euthanasia. I sometimes
How's he
wonder
holding up
when
with
people are shocked
the
by
whole
the liberals'
fucking
latest
Minnesota
behavior.
debacle,
Jerry Nadler
dog?
calling on people to shoot cops. Like, yeah, these people
He's probably doing
openly
fine. He doesn't
advocate
have to worry about
slaughtering
anything.
babies. Yeah, they're they're willing to go pretty low,
Oh,
man.
dog.
I don't know. And you know they do
He
that,
sent
right?
you
know
some
they,
of
like,
that Somali
people to
money,
shout their
dog.
abortion, and they, they're
Nope.
like pro infanticide. So yeah, obviously they'll stoop pretty
Damn,
low.
dude.
But that's not even the point I'm making here. I'm making
Sounds
more
like he
point on
doesn't
how the
care
libs
too much
view
about
life
you.
and death and
It's
suffering.
probably the smartest thing you've said in a
Because
while,
the
dog.
basic claim she's making is
Nice.
death is preferable to suffering. Death is preferable to inconvenience, to a loss of total agency, personal autonomy, and to suffering. That is what underlies the liberal arguments for abortion and especially for euthanasia, which is a euphemism. It means a good death. It's actually the worst kind of death because it's suicide, and it just refers to assisted suicide, legal assisted suicide. But That's the claim we have to interrogate here. Is death preferable to suffering? And this is an absurd claim on its face because life entails suffering, necessarily. This is a fallen world. The very first act that will ever take place as you enter into the world, it involves two acts of suffering. The suffering of the mother as she gives birth, and the suffering of the baby as he meets the shock of the world. What's the first thing a baby does when he sees the world for the first time? He cries. In fact, he has to cry. If he doesn't cry immediately, something's wrong, and the doctor has to spank him, and then he cries. Life necessarily entails suffering. Best case scenario, you live a really long time and your loved ones die. You see your loved ones die. Best case scenario. But you're going to get headaches. You're going to get tummy aches. You're going to suffer setbacks. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to desire things that you can't have. Accidents will befall you. You will commit sins, and you will regret those sins, and they'll make your life worse. You will suffer. So if we accept the liberal premise that death is preferable to suffering, we should just we should kill ourselves as quickly as we can. Or we should kill our babies immediately. Or the moment, at the very least, that we're conscious of suffering, we should kill ourselves and encourage our loved ones to kill themselves. And that is what abortion and euthanasia are. That's it. That's the premise. And it's horrifying when we hear it in these terms, which are unfamiliar. Namely, if a cop comes to arrest me, I'm going to slaughter my kids and kill myself. Everyone's aghast, including the liberals. Why? Why are you shocked by this? These are the premises that you yourselves, in many cases, especially if you're on the left, but even some people on the right who support things like assisted suicide or even in some cases some kinds of abortion. These are the premises that you yourself are accepting. So why are you shocked that she's just taking them to their logical conclusion? It's a good video. I mean, it's horrifying, of course, but it's a good video because it shows people how many more horrifying premises they've accepted themselves. Speaking of the ICE protests, we mentioned this at the top of the show. Young brothers are now full-time ICE watchers. What is ICE watchers? That's a new job. That's influencer, that's a new job. I don't know, TikToker, that's a new job. And ICE watcher is a new job. What is the job? You go around and you harass law enforcement, you impede law enforcement, and you film cops. CNN, so thrilled. CNN writes, these young brothers sacrifice normal teenage life to be full-time ICE watchers in Minneapolis and say they won't regret it.
Yeah, just like I'm seeing like a fucking thing that
time off school. They're not actually doing
the dude who plays Tywin
they're following cops around and filming them.
He's doing. He's just like, yeah, dude, like the last season was fucking
boys
bullshit.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
Wow, stop the presses. Teenage boys.
Dude, like when it's coming from him, that's like how you know it's like people who fucking defend the last season. I'm just like literally fucking hear it from the cast themselves, dude. Oh my god. Fucking retarded people.
Where are you in the book so far?
Let's see. I'm at 340.
Go to page 300 for a sec. Just tell me who. It's either 299 or 300. Tell me if it's the beginning of a new chapter.
It's not a new chapter. 305 for me is Edward's chapter.
Okay, so what? No. How many pages does yours have? The paper.
807.
Oh, so it has more. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have thought just because the lettering is bigger in a hardcover that it would have more pages, but I guess not.
They're probably right. I've never heard this before. Can you imagine a teenage boy would want to skip school to go like run around outside and do like crazy kind of dangerous things? Well, this must be the first time that's ever happened. And CNN like, buys it hook, line, and sinker. Oh goodness, I hope the headline writer never becomes a parent. Certainly not a parent of boys. That's not going to work out well. His boys are going to run circles around him. So who are the boys? Ben and Sam, 17 and 16-year-old. Okay. I'm not going to read the whole article, just a couple little clips. The brothers are homeschooled by their mom. All right, so they're not in a formal school, so it's a little easier to skip school when the principal's your mom. But hold on, this means that the mom is okay with this. Audrey, who juggles teaching, child rearing, and advocacy work. So first of all, I just found the first bit of fake news in this article. It says the boys are homeschooled by their mom, Audrey, who juggles teaching. No, she doesn't. She doesn't teach. She encourages her kids not to educate themselves. So she's not teaching. Child rearing. She's not rearing her children. She's sending them out to possibly go be shot by the cops. She's telling them, go, run away, go to a different town, go to a different city, just go, get out of here. So she's a horrible teacher. She's a horrible child rearer. I'm sure she does advocacy work. That part I believe. That's the only thing she does do. She's a leftist activist, and she has sacrificed her role as teacher and mother to her leftist activism. No surprises there. She's a terrible mother. It needs to be said. Hopefully she can correct it. She's a terrible mother. She is only a leftist activist. She has sacrificed everything else to that. During Operation Midway Blitz, I guess that's a nice operation, Ben and Sam would patrol in the morning, come back around noon, and knock out their schoolwork in a dizzying turnaround. But that was before. Now, the boys said they're finding themselves more often sacrificing schoolwork for patrolling. They just have to sacrifice it. All that homework they really want to do, instead they've got to go play around on the streets and film crazy stuff. But it's a sacrifice they're willing to make. That doesn't mean they've stopped learning, though, says CL. Here it's been more difficult, but this is almost like an internship. Is it? Internships are usually when you emulate or train in a job. What is the job here? Well, I guess the job is leftist agitation, which is a job. So it's pretty lucrative in some places. We're seeing things that most Americans will never see again in their lives, hopefully, Ben said. The people we're getting to meet and experiences we're getting and the things you learn through this work is invaluable.
Dog, how's your other favorite uncle doing, dog?
Nice, dude.
Sacrificing all that schoolwork, doesn't know how verbs should agree.
Well, how's he doing?
The people
don't know, dude. I haven't fucking talked to him, dog.
We're getting, the things you learn through this work.
Yeah, dog. What's his first name?
I don't know.
Who's supposed to be his teacher won't teach him. You would say are invaluable.
It's Bill.
Now you wouldn't say any of that because it's not true. But at the very least, you should know how the most basic verb.
Heard he's going to court,
when you conjugate that verb, should agree with the nouns. Anyway, pedantic side point.
No care
Audrey
here.
and
He
her
hasn't fucking
husband,
hooked me up with
Andrew,
shit, so
a
what the fuck would I
professor
care?
at Wheaton College in Illinois, said they took Sam and Ben to their first No Kings protests and pro-Palestinian walks in the wake of the latest war in Gaza. So the parents groomed the kids into this. They encouraged them to do this kind of stuff. And now the kids are truants who are putting themselves
Dog,
in very
I ate a burger yesterday.
She added, the mom.
And now my armpits smell like a fucking burger, dog. What the fuck is that about?
How could you say yes? How could I say no?
Onions on
My
the
kids
burger?
wanted to skip school to go break the law.
I think so,
and,
yeah.
obstruct
there you
law
go.
enforcement and put themselves in a position where they might get shot.
Well, what,
How
like
could
what
I say
do
no?
onions do?
Where's the catch? Hold on, this is too good to be true. Where's the catch?
You
How could I
release the
say no?
smell
Well, if you
through
were
sweat.
in the least competent to be a mother,
And
Who
odor.
fucking
if you had
told you
the
that?
least bit of feeling for your child, and
Well,
even
it's your
2
body
brain
after
cells
you eat
direct it,
onions. You can
that's
smell
how you could
onions,
say.
so it's kind of
How could I say no?
obvious
you need to stick to your
sometimes, you know?
I heard a bad breath.
And just ignore this for now. We'll read about it in history books later. Like, are you serious? I am.
You've heard of
I'm
bad
serious.
breath.
This woman
Cool.
said, this is the really horrifying part. She said it in a CNN article.
Heard a bad breath with
You know, when
onions,
Alex
but
Brady got shot, got
I
this
ain't
text
ever heard
from
of
your
fucking
boys.
sweating out onions, dog.
White
What kind of
man
fucking
was being shot.
sorcery are you on?
This woman thought, oh,
Why do you think
oh my
fucking
goodness, I've
people
sent
smell
my
like
kids out to
onions
check
when they
the
don't
house.
fucking
And she said she's the only person in
deodorant on?
America who was relieved to
Who
hear
smells like
that it
onions,
was
huh?
Alex Preddy who was shot. because she thought it was her kid.
The people who
And what did she
eat
do the next day?
onions
She sent her
that
kids
are
out
so
again
fucking potent
to go
that
do the same
it
thing.
goes through
to
my
maybe get shot
my,
again.
my
I
fucking window
said
and I want to kill
it
myself.
smells like a
All of
burger.
this to say, the professional left employs child labor.
You smell Angus
And it's
beef,
even worse than
dog?
that. It's not just
Because
that
that's
they
what it
employ
fucking
child
smells
labor.
like.
They don't even pay the child labor. It's not slave labor
Ain't
because
no
they brainwash the
fucking
kids
onion.
into doing this, and they brainwash the parents into sending their kids to do this. But this is sick.
How do you explain that, huh?
cultish stuff. This woman should get a visit from Child Protective Services. These kids should maybe be removed from her house. This is extremely negligent.
That's what I thought.
She is almost certainly violating the law, even when
They're
it comes
fucking
to
putting
homeschooling.
chemicals in these goddamn burgers,
There is
dude.
more leeway on homeschooling practically, but she's telling them don't do your schoolwork, be a truant, just go harass the cops. And she is engaging in reckless behavior, recklessly negligent. It's worse than negligence. She's encouraging them to do it. We need a little lawfare for this stuff. This is very, very bad. And this is a microcosm of what happens generationally, where the left trains these kids from a very, very young age to be professional agitators. The kids say it's kind of like a job, it's kind of like an internship, and it kind of is. It actually kind of is. It's not a good one. It won't lead you to flourishing in your career. But there's a lot of money behind it. There's a lot of money, a lot of organizing. So what's it all about?
Dog, they teased the new fucking
my
Ray
friend,
movie, dude.
Senator Ted Cruz
Check it out.
has hit on what this is all about. We'll get to that momentarily. First, January has been very, very busy at the Daily Wire. We have dropped 250 pieces of original content. I think I'm responsible for like 241 of them. No, we've got a lot of other stuff too. We obviously have Pendragon that's come out. New episodes are coming out every Thursday. We've got Matt's new series, Real History with Matt Walsh. We've got all of the shows. We've added so many
Absolutely,
people.
it's not fake,
Isabel
huh?
Brown,
Fucking
Matt,
faggot.
Brad. It's all very, very exciting. February,
Yeah,
we
man,
have even more
they
to
made
come.
that, and a lot of people would
We
go see it.
have new episodes of Pendragon every Thursday, as I mentioned. You have to watch it. It's getting a ton of play. We have another season of Ben After Dark, the show you didn't ask for, but you're getting anyway. Oh, we've got lots of bar fights coming up. It's a lot, but you have to be a Daily Wire Plus member. You have, one, because your membership supports all of the things that we're doing. We're grateful for that. Two, that's where you're going to see everything. Right now. Do it. Don't wait. Don't stop. Don't hesitate. Don't blink. Go to dailywireplus.com. Join right now. Want to get to my favorite comment from yesterday's from NC3419. It says, I'm not obese. I'm an active medical fat storage facility. I come home yesterday, and Elisa, she didn't tell me she had listened to the show yet. She just goes, hey, Mac, should I inject myself with fat from dead bodies? Liberals in Minnesota have had it. I love this Minneapolis story. That's so beautiful. Trump actually trolled the Minneapolis liberals into inventing Border Patrol, into inventing the wall, checkpoints, cops, ICE. ICE, basically. We've got to deport these ICE agents. We need our own ICE to deport these ICE agents. This is what happens. This is what always seems to happen when the hippies and the communists, who are similar, but you know, the hippies are a little less, they seem a little less threatening, but utopians on the left of all stripes, when they dream up their perfect society, they say, you know, man, this society, it's no good, man. We got markets, we got people making money, we got people here exploiting each other, got private property, got all that. We don't want that, man. What we're gonna do, we're gonna
Page are you at in the book?
But you're gonna do it
300.
The problem with our society is we just didn't do it right. Is that they invented Border Patrol. It's so beautiful. So I say take them at their word. Yes, we do need people to keep our communities safe. Yes, we do need checkpoints to keep the people we don't want out. Yes, we do need to have a group of people that takes care of the community. I think you're totally right. Flood Minneapolis with even more ICE agents, Mr. President. Thank you. Speaking of Minnesota, Vice President J.D. Vance just sat down for an interview. This, I guess, was with the Daily Mail, in which the VP was asked if he plans to apologize to the family of Alex Preddy, the left-wing agitator who was tussling with cops who brought a gun to obstruct law enforcement, who ended up getting shot. And take notes. Get out a pen. Get out your pen. Get out your little notepad. Take notes at how the vice president answers his question. If he plans to apologize.
And like I said, we're going to let the investigation.
Okay, beautiful. Just even right from the top, right off the top there. Are you going to apologize to Alex Preddy, to his family? I guess not to him. Are you going to apologize to his family? And VP doesn't miss a beat. This is exactly the right way to answer. Generic form. The generic form.
No, there was just one last weekend.
Mr. Vice President, when you accept my bogus premise, will you do what I want? When you accept my premise that has no basis in reality, the premise in this case being that J.D. Vance committed some injustice toward Alex Preddy by describing the situation as it was. When you accept my bogus premise, will you do what I want you to do, namely apologize to Alex Preddy and say that your administration is terrible, and say that we shouldn't have ICE deporting illegals, and say that we shouldn't enforce our immigration laws? Will you do that when you accept my bogus premise? Will you apologize? And the VP totally gets it. He goes, for what? So he puts the onus back on the guy who's making the crazy claims to try to justify his claims. That's how you do it. J.D. Vance is not the first vice president to do this. There was a great example. I couldn't find the clip of it yesterday. I was looking for
fucking
force. There's a great example of Vice President Dick Cheney doing this many, many years ago. I think it was to Larry King. Larry King said, Mr. Vice President, do you intend to bomb Iran? And his answer was perfect. It was actually verbatim the same answer. He said, for what? There was no reason to think that they were going to bomb Iran, but that puts the onus back on the questioner. Well, I don't know. Have him describe it. What is it?
Oh my God, I have to do
What is
this
it that we're
all
really talking
over
about
again,
here?
dude?
And he says, well, you should apologize because maybe his civil rights were violated. You hear the journo then goes to a conditional hypothetical question. Hypothetical statement. Well, if it is determined that his civil rights were violated, will you then apologize? And JD is the perfect answer for that, which is, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. That's basically what the VP says. He says, if this hypothetical leads to that hypothetical, leads to this hypothetical, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride.
Steak?
If turnips were watches, I would wear one by my side. And if ifs and ands were pots and pans, there'd be no work for tinker's hands.
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
That's his answer. That's the right answer.
Okay, dude, like this shit isn't fun, man.
You can't accept the premise. Everything that the Trump,
like they're not even invisible. Like they're actually not there. You can't hit them even if you fucking swipe where they just were.
The shooting of Renee Good, justified. It's not even close.
You end up finding your protein smoothie shake, whatever.
The shooting of Alex Preddy, justified. He showed up to obstruct law enforcement with a gun. Even if there was some confusion on the scene, and I'm not saying that there was, the cops were entirely justified every step of the way, giving.
Oh, you can still go invisible when I'm hitting him. I love that in games too.
Justified, 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 and this is what most Americans voted for in November 2024. They voted for mass deportations. They voted for ICE raiding cities, especially sanctuary cities, which hold up big signs that say this is where all the illegals are. This is what people voted for. I don't want to hear any counter-signaling the administration on this. I don't want to hear the squish and say, well, really, they should have done it a different way. They should have done it a different way. How? Should they have had more law enforcement officers? Well, no, not exactly. Should they have not arrested the illegals? Well, no, not exactly. Should they have worn different color uniforms? What do you want them to do? Wear pink uniforms? Enough with this cowardice. It's so ridiculous. You know how I know that all of the Trump administration's actions in Minneapolis are justified? The anti-ICE activists in Minneapolis are recreating ICE. They're recreating border patrol. They're recreating checkpoints and cops. That's how I know. Everybody agrees, whether they want to admit it or not. So a very good answer from the Vice President, which perhaps helps to explain why the President, Donald Trump, has just reaffirmed his endorsement, his quasi-endorsement for 2028. We'll get to who and how he's endorsing. First, though, I want to tell you about Brickhouse Nutrition. Right now, go to takeaway.com, enter code Knowles. This episode...
Whoa. It's fucking spiders, dog.
You see this?
Yeah.
Is sponsored by Brickhouse Nutrition. You probably heard about those weight loss injections that everyone's been talking about. President Trump calls it the fat shot. Well, the results can be pretty incredible and work by helping regulate blood sugar and keeping your appetite in check. Here's the thing. Not everyone wants to deal with weekly injections, especially when you start hearing about some of the side effects that can come with them. That's where Lean comes in. It's a weight loss supplement developed by doctors, and people are seeing some really impressive results. The ingredients in Lean are backed by research showing that they can help lower blood sugar, turn stored fat into energy, and reduce those constant cravings and hunger pangs that make dieting so hard. One important thing to know, Lean is not just designed for someone who just wants to drop a couple pounds. The doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition specifically formulated it for people who have been struggling to lose 10 pounds or more and are ready for something that actually works. We have been hearing a lot of great stuff. Multiple producers and employees at the Daily Wire have tried Lean. They've already been so impressed with how effective Lean was in such a short period of time. Let's get you started with 20% off and free rush shipping so that you can add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Visit takelean.com, enter Knowles, K-N-O-W-L-E-S, for your discount. That is promo code Knowles, K-N-O-W-L-E-S, at takelean.com. Okay, folks. Mentioned it the last couple days. I'm really glad that everyone has, well, not everyone, but a lot of people have had the chance to order my best candle of the year, the Lenten candle, the penitential Smells and Bells, makes your home smell like a 12th century monastery. It did sell out in less than 24 hours. Then the poor Candle Club team had to be on the phone trying to secure vessels. They were able to secure some more materials. This is the final batch. The one caveat here, the original order that sold out immediately, it had a slightly colored glass. This new order, I think it has clear glass. Otherwise, that's it. It's the same candle, same smell. It's going to make your home smell like a scholastic cathedral, which is great. This is the last batch. When these resources are gone, when these vessels and the waxes and all that are gone, they're gone. If you want them, order it now. I think as of airtime, as of 3 minutes before airtime, we still have some candles. I don't know if we're still going to have candles by the time you listen to this, if you're listening on Spotify or YouTube or whatever, but go try to get it. If you're going to want 2, if you're going to want 3 or 4, order them all right now. You can give them away as Easter gifts. If you don't want them, probably you're just going to burn them in your house. Get them now, because there's not going to be another batch. We've run out of stuff. And then I don't want to get your angry emails. Go to thecandleclub.com, get your Smells and Bells candle right now. Okay, President Trump has just reaffirmed his endorsement, his quasi-endorsement for 2028. Who's he going with? Is he going with JD? Is he going with Marco? Yes.
JD is fantastic, and Marco is fantastic. How are they different? How are they different? And I do think this. It's a great question. I think that's your most interesting question. I would say one is slightly more diplomatic than the other. I think they're both of very high intelligence. I mean, you know, they will do shows. They will do Joe Rogan as opposed to the opponent not doing it because they couldn't handle it. They will be able to do whatever they have to do. I think there's a difference in style. You know, you can see the style yourself, but they're both very capable. I do think the combination of JD and Marco would be very hard to beat, I think. But you never know in politics, right? They say, in the age of Trump, you never know.
I love that point at the end. In the age of Trump, past is not precedent, necessarily, okay? The models no longer exactly hold, but what he's doing here is reaffirming and quasi-endorsement. Again, he's not saying, I am fully committed to a J.D. Rubio ticket for 2028. He never seems to fully commit to any of those things. He's loath to do that in politics. However, this is basically saying, yeah, I'm backing J.D. for president or Rubio for vice president. And he's done that before. He did that for the first time. I think it was on Air Force One. I think this is another third or fourth time he's mentioned this. This is going to be very frustrating to some of the more factional activists in the right, which is always in a state of civil war, because some of the more factional type of people, and I've noticed this especially with the wing that was formerly never Trump, and then they opposed Trump in the primaries the next time, and then now they seem to not like JD. And I guess that makes sense because, you know, JD is the heir to MAGA, and some of these guys were never all that into MAGA, and they're always looking for an alternative. So that makes sense. There's always going to be a little division, especially on the right. In many ways, that's one of the strengths of the American right. So I don't even think that's necessarily a bad thing. We talked about this a little bit in the member block yesterday. Another reason to subscribe to Daily Wire. You have to be a Daily Wire member.
Dude, they're just fucking standing around.
We're doing this on Work From Home Wednesday, where we read an essay or poem.
Yo, it's fucking bionicle, dude.
Wow, so this guy fucking shocked me, and then the other guy grabbed. Wow, dude, that's so balanced, bro.
According to the British philosopher Michael Oakeshott, we were reading the essay on being conservative. The thing that makes one
invisible, and he's hitting
is different than what makes someone a liberal. Liberalism
Bro, that is a
creed.
fucking bionicle.
Liberalism unites around shared specific policies and a shared ideological, creedal understanding of politics. That's not really the case for conservatives. Conservatives have all sorts of different views on policies. You'll have hardcore conservatives who say we need to go bomb a lot of countries around the world and be a great big empire. You'll hear people who also can sincerely claim to be conservative who say they never want to be involved in another war again.
Whoa!
You have people who say they're conservative who hate protective tariffs. You have people who claim to be conservative who say that conservatives need tariffs. You know, they disagree on all sorts of policies. So then, is there anything that unites them? Yes. What unites conservatives is disposition. To prefer the real to the imagined, the limited to the unbounded, the practical to the utopia, present laughter to utopian bliss, of Michael Oakeshott.
And
so, anyway, that's a long
It's good that he can go invisible as he's
on the right.
midair.
There's always going to be some divisions, there's going to be variety, it's the spice of life. And what Trump points out here is, you got two guys in JD and Rubio.
Not for my character. When I get knocked back, I'm done until I get back up.
You know, look, one of them is a little more diplomatic than the other. You know, yeah, the nation's top diplomat, Marco Rubio, is in many ways more diplomatic than JD. Isn't that great? You got Rubio, who you know, speaks in a gentle way to just about everybody, and then you got JD, who's a little blunter, who's a little tougher. Good. I want both of those things. Both of them are highly intelligent, as Trump points out. Both of them can hang, unlike Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, who can't speak to themselves in the mirror. Rubio and JD can easily talk to Rogan for 3 hours, can really talk to anybody, and can do so intelligently. Even physically, they kind of complement each other. You know, Trump famously made fun of Marco Rubio.
Wow, okay, so yeah, the game just literally said fuck yourself.
And JD is very real. But even there, you get this,
I got a
nice
video of your last
balance.
appointment with your
They even look kind of
dog.
And
Pretty fucking
crucially,
good.
it unites these factions. The people who are a little bit more, I don't know, would you say, I don't mean this as a majority, which is part of the Republican coalition. The people who are a little bit more moderate, the people who are a little bit more establishment, the people who are a little more opposed to Trump, I think Rubio makes them feel more comfortable. And the people who are a little bit more populist, people who are a little bit more inclined to the new political coalition that Trump helped build, which is what propelled the Republicans to victory, I think they kind of feel a little more comfortable with JD.
Fuck, are they all frozen?
I think JD seems a little bit more, I don't know, avant-garde in that way. Wouldn't it be great if you could bring those guys together? You know, in many ways, it just seems like a better version of Reagan-Bush. Reagan-Bush, which existed to pull together two big factions of the Republican Party. The more populist, avant-garde, kind of, you know, hardcore wing, and the more establishment, you know, clubbable country club type. You bring them both together. Well, I think Trump sees something here that's quite real. And more to the point, what are the alternatives in 2028? Who seriously could, at the end of this decade-long era of Trump, who seriously is going to challenge? Really, it's Vance or Rubio. Okay, all the better if already have some momentum. I love it. And Rubio's backed this up himself. Vance has said very nice things about Rubio. Rubio has endorsed Vance. Great. Love it. I know it's very odd to have unity on the right, but I'll take it. Now, that ticket, I hope, is going places. Speaking of going places, the MTA has gone viral for reserving a seat on its buses in New York for Rosa Parks. There's kind of an irony to this, isn't there? Because the people who take the buses in New York are disproportionately black. White people who take public transit in New York, they tend to take the subway. The people who take the buses tend to be disproportionately black. And the first seat at the very front of the bus, right now, if a black person goes to sit there, the bus driver's going to say, hey, get to the back. You can't sit there. That's reserved for this poster board or the ghost of Rosa Parks. We'll get to that and what that means in a moment. First, I want to tell you about Policy Genius. Go to policygenius.com/norms. You're a diligent person. If you're listening to this show right now, you're probably an intelligent, good-looking, diligent person. But there's something people put off. And they put it off because your life changes slowly. You get married, you have a kid, you make a little money, and you do this and you input. At a certain point, you have to get life insurance. You have to take care of your family. You have to be the responsible thing that you want to put off because nobody wants to think about death.
Done.
But it's going to happen, baby.
We have
no one here gets out alive.
To strike. The fleet will converge on Camino. But you know, Vader is luring you back to him.
Yes, I know, but he won't be expecting the entire rebel fleet.
My thoughts as well.
God, dude.
Let's hope we're right. Prepare for light speed.
Dude. It's a fucking Bionicle, dude.
It has shields. You need to find a way to disable them.
Error Walker.
Bye.
Look for the reactor pylon. Now find the use them to create an energy burst and disable that thing's shield.
Come on. Is this fucking close?
Good work. Its shields are down.
Oh my god, serious, dude? Dude, look, I don't know what game I'm playing, bro.
It's all yours. These shields are down. Don't stop now. You got it. You got it. It won't be able to take much more.
Nice, dude. Okay, this game is the worst thing I've ever fucking seen in my whole entire life, dude. In the first game, your fucking force things didn't lock on to anyone.
You got it! His shields are down!
Fucking force push should not lock on to anything.
Attack him! He's open!
Wow. So the computer aims for the explosives instead of me. I love it, dude. Okay, I get it, dude.
Good work! Its shields are down.
Yeah, it even feels different, dude. It's a newer game, but it feels worse. How's that possible?
You've got him where you want him now. You got it! His shields are down!
Oh my god, dude.
The shields are down.
You've got him where you want him now. Don't stop now, you got it!
Nice.
You've got him where you want him now. That took the steam out of it. Keep it up.
Dude, this is so dumb, dude. I killed it, and now I'm running it. Just kill it.
Hold on! You've got him now!
Holy fuck, this is so fucking janky. Dude, I swear someone else is playing. This doesn't make sense, bro.
Take it for a little walk.
What am I watching, dude?
I don't know, dude. I wish I knew.
Take it for a little walk. Drive it into the reactor.
Nice, I can't even see. Whoa! Tell me you saw that.
Yeah, I did.
You saw him in the ground, sideways or whatever, on his face?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And some Star Destroyers.
Can you hear me? Are you there?
What's the situation, General?
The Empire was
Nice.
waiting for a start. We need to launch our Y-Wings, or this is going to be one short fight. Clear the deck, Star Killer. We need to get our fighters out there.
I'll take care of them, General.
Fuck, is that a clone trooper with fucking lightsabers?
No, it's Imperial Guard kind of thing, I think. love that, man. God, that's fucking horrible.
Time for a Tylenol. Oh, okay.
Dude, what am I... Wow, it won't even let me actually attack the enemy.
Yo, you threw it like to the opposite end of the room.
Yeah, and then he just threw it at himself.
Nice. Dude, and they're all just frozen in the air, what the fuck?
Oh, this shit is so
that guy's running at the wall. Yo, what the fuck? Do you see that guy running into the wall? Dude. Oh my god, that last frame of him on his knees, dude, oh my god, that was hilarious. Holy shit.
Alright, I'll be back.
Fucking hell.
Okay, dog. Yo, I'll be back in like 5 minutes, alright? I'm gonna go. I just have to go upstairs.
Listen, Alan, there's something phony about this guy. Now, I don't want you to rush headlong into anything without
Oh, fuck. Oh.
You there?
Yeah.
The fact that I ever beat that game is a fucking miracle, dude. It's so bad. It's probably even worse.
Question, dog.
Huh?
Oh, you just said it. Probably the worst. So it's not as good as Jedi Fallen Order, dog.
Your mic cut out. I stopped talking because you started talking.
Jedi Fallen Order's better, dog.
No, it's not.
Dog. You just fucking uninstalled that piece of shit right there, dog.
Yeah, and I did that to the other ones too.
Nah, but you spent way more time on the other one, dog. Dog, you see the video I sent you, dog?
Force Unleashed 2, the game's only like 4 hours long, so that would be irrelevant anyway.
Nice.
I've got your X-ray. Your spine is broken. What? Is it bad? There's nothing I can do. That'll be $10,000.
Nice, dude. The guy says your spine's broken, and he asks, "Is it bad?"
Nice. Oh, it's fucking AI is fucking retarded, dude. I don't know.
Which is a separate discussion that we talk about a lot. In the terrestrial realm, right now, You need
What
to
would you
protect
give
your
it out of
family.
10?
You got to do with life insurance policy.
Force
Genius
Unleashed
that makes
2.
it so easy.
Saying that well,
You don't jump around websites. You don't go here
it,
and there and helter
it
skelter.
runs
Their
way
team works
smoother,
for
so
you.
I'll at
Their
least give it a
licensed
5.
agents figure out what you need. You compare
4.
top insurers side by side, totally free. It's phenomenal. It will give you peace of mind. Do the responsible thing. Plan the year knowing that you have protected what you have built with Policy Genius. You can see if you can find 20-year life insurance policies starting at just $276 a year for $1 million in coverage. Go to policygenius.com/Knowles. Compare life insurance quotes from top companies. See how much you can save. policygenius.com/Knowles. Folks, tonight we are filming not one, but 2 episodes of Bar Fight at Redneck Riviera in Nashville. Doors open at 5:30 for our first show where I face off against Mike Nellis and Michael DeFeo. Doors at the Million Man. Speaking of transportation,
show a sex scandal among conservative influencers perfectly illustrates why many young men are reluctant to get married and have children, but they still should, even in spite of the risks. We'll make that argument today. Journalist Bill Gates tries to explain his appearance in the Epstein files, and a woke school board member brings a school board meeting to a halt so that she can lecture someone for using the term homeless. Apparently unhoused is the preferred term, although nobody can explain why. All of that and more today on the All Show. Society. And my plan was, and still is, to take this message, which I've been preaching for as long as I've had a platform to preach it from, and advance it in an even more deliberate way.
I know, Proxy, I can already sense them, but this is the only place that I can find out more about my father.
Oh wow, look, I hit someone while using force grip. Isn't that amazing? The darkness.
Whoa, dog. That's a lot of shit.
Damn bug, it's the Jadot Temple.
is on the other side of the entry hall. If the path is blocked, you'll need to find a way to clear it.
See that new Game of Thrones series with the dude and the kid?
I haven't watched it yet, but I think there are, what, 3 episodes now?
You've entered a Padawan training chamber.
Like a specific book for that too?
Training droids might still be operational.
That's the Duck and Egg series.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. Dunk and Egg.
I can't remember what it's called. The book. It's like I think it's like 3 short stories and put into one book. I think.
And we were going to talk about some of the pitfalls, as we often do, while focusing on the importance of finding a spouse and raising a family. And that was the plan starting this week. And then the Elijah Schaefer scandal.
Internet access
that
failed.
Schaefer, a conservative commentator who is married and has children, was apparently having an affair with Sarah Stock, who's a conservative commentator, and who at the time was dating the man that she would eventually marry. This has been interesting timing because it's a story that perfectly illustrates the
You sold your wife for the internet?
So many young people are so reluctant to get married and have children in the first place. Now, as to the specifics of the scandal, I'll go into a few of the details in a moment, not because this is a drama channel, but because it's the kind of thing we must contend with if we want to make the case for marriage and family life. You know, if I were to try to do a monologue right now on that topic, all the comments would be, well, what about this? You see this scandal over here? This is exactly why we don't want to get married. So let's just, let's lean into that, as much as I hate that phrase. You know, I think that those of us on the pro-family side, oftentimes, it's true to say, haven't done a good enough job of acknowledging and accounting for the enormous risks and downside to marriage that young people are confronting at increasing rates, no matter how hard they try to find a compatible, moral, Christian spouse. This is the catch-22. Our culture is decaying, in order to stop the decay, we need people to form stable and loving families, but it's harder to form stable and loving families while the culture is decaying. Now, people in the red pill and so-called manosphere spaces have been making this point for a long time and have taken a lot of heat for it. I've had plenty of arguments with people on that side about this. Entire shows on Netflix have been written about how awful their opinions are and how they've created this manosphere that traffics in dangerous misogyny and so on. But you know, the truth is, when the writer's room at Netflix is so enraged about your views that they start putting you in their shows, then it means that you're on to something. Now, let's talk about this issue from the perspective of a young man. And to anyone who accuses me of only blaming the woman in this story, keep in mind that we talked about this yesterday, and I spent 20 minutes discussing why Schaefer was wrong to cheat on his wife and how married men should behave so that they don't commit those sins. So we've talked about that. Today we're going to flip it around and focus on the other side, because here's what the story demonstrates. It's not always enough to say that you should date a woman who goes to church, who says that she opposes abortion, who says that she's never slept with anyone outside of marriage, spends every day talking about conservative principles for a living, and who will, in her case, literally stand by your side in front of the Pope as he blesses both of you. A woman can do all those things and convince you that she means every word of what she's saying, that she'll be a fantastic mother to your children, and then you find out one day that, in fact, she was lying to you the whole time. She was actually having an affair with her boss behind your back. She was grinning as the Pope blessed your relationship while she was thinking about her other boyfriend. And here's the thing, if you don't learn the truth soon enough, then she could, not too far in the future, walk away with half of your assets, including your house, along with alimony for life. This is not some fantastical hypothetical scenario. It's what apparently happened to the man who was engaged to Sarah Stock, who perhaps briefly, went by the name Sarah Setka. Sarah's a relative newcomer in the whole trad woman conservative influencer space, and she put out posts like this one when she got engaged. This is from August of 2025. She writes, "I won," along with a picture of her engagement ring. And as you can see there, Charlie Kirk, who was actually an honest and wholesome person, responded, "Congrats, marriage is..." Is amazing. Lots of people responded that way. Makes sense to respond. Someone got engaged. It's a happy thing to say congratulations. Then there's this post from Sarah Stock, which she wrote in November of 2024. Quote, "The idea that women are waiting until marriage, who are waiting until marriage, are doing it to manipulate men into marrying them so they can leave and take all their money is kind of schizo, in my opinion, and you probably have a 0.01% chance of that happening. Anyone who's going to be a forever bachelor and never procreate because they're not willing to take that risk, especially with a woman they love and trust, is NGMI, not going to make it. Waiting till marriage also has statistically better results for the marriage." And 6 months later, in April 2025, Stock announced that she had converted to Catholicism. Stock wrote, quote, "I'm officially Catholic." And then she wrote, "Ave Christus Rex," meaning Hail Christ the King. And then here's her photo with her husband receiving the Pope's blessing. Now, I'm not prepared to say, as many have, that her conversion was a scam and she never meant anything she said. It was all a big ruse. I can't say that. I can't see inside her soul. Only God can figure that out. It's perfectly possible for a person to profess a certain belief and hold that belief and yet act contrary to it. And we all do that to some extent because we are all sinners. And yet it's also clear that Sarah was also putting together a carefully crafted image. Before she was engaged, she appeared on a podcast in which she claimed that she would abstain from sex until marriage, in contrast to some other women on the panel who openly admitted that they were extremely promiscuous. Watch.
You're also religious, correct?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Are you waiting until marriage?
Yep.
Have you always waited till marriage?
Yes.
You both are virgins, is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
No shame, just...
Yeah.
Okay,
Right
cool.
away. I said yes.
What's your body count?
It's 8. 4. I can give like roundabout.
Sure.
Like 120.
120, okay. Cool.
8. 0. 0. 0.
Whoa.
That's
Okay.
a lot of virgins.
Jake?
Surrounded by purity here.
Yeah.
I feel it rubbing off on me.
Now the
How
point
many
of
pages
showing you
does
this,
your
all
book
this
have?
stuff is not to gawk at the destruction of the marriage or to gossip about lurid details, of which there are
Like
plenty
of just
in this case. We
words.
could fill a whole show full of those
683, I think.
details if we wanted to. We won't. Instead, I'll simply say that Milo Yiannopoulos has alleged, with a substantial amount of evidence, that Sarah was in fact sleeping with her boss, Elijah Schaefer, who runs a small conservative media company called Rift TV, up to the moment that she became engaged to another man named Will. So in other words, the allegation is that Sarah was cheating on her boyfriend and future fiance with her boss, who was a married man at the time with children. His wife is now divorcing him, apparently. And the allegation is backed by an audio recording, which Yiannopoulos obtained, though it's not clear how. No reason to play that here. There, you can listen to that if you want to online. There are other allegations, even darker and more depraved, that have been made, and which I certainly can't substantiate. In response to all these allegations, Sarah didn't issue any kind of specific targeted denial. She didn't dispute the accuracy of the claims being made exactly. Instead, she posted the following message to her account on X. It says, quote, "A lot of what has been said about me is completely untrue. That being said, there are mistakes, unwise decisions I have made that I deeply regret. I have sinned. I apologize to everyone who has been scandalized by this. Please pray. Logging off now." Shortly afterwards, Sarah deleted her account entirely and deleted, I think, her other social media accounts as well. Now, if you follow this scandal on social media, you'll see that most people, as expected, are talking about it with a sick kind of glee and satisfaction. But we should never find satisfaction in the sins of others, especially when there are real victims involved, spouses and children. So the point is not to gloat. I have no reason to anyway. I have nothing personally against anybody involved in the scandal. The point is that this story is not the exception. It's not happening out of nowhere. There's nothing aberrant about it. As we talked about yesterday, Elijah Schaefer's behavior is all too common among some men, and Sarah Stock is all too representative of how some women, though certainly not all, think and behave these days. These types of women, they don't see men as potential husbands to whom they will devote themselves or for whom they will be a loyal and loving helpmate. They see men as tools they can use dishonestly for a specific purpose. I consider the fact that, as of the most recent data, roughly 70% of divorces are initiated by women. That's a...
Do you get mommy to drive you somewhere? No.
According to research from the American Sociological Association, but plenty of other sources agree on that point. In fact, the number rises to between 80 and 90% when you only look at highly educated women. Now, here's a quote from the American Sociological Association, to give you an idea of how they frame the data. Quote, "Study author Michael Rosenfeld, an associate professor of sociology at Stanford University, found that women initiated 69% of all divorces compared to 31% of men. In contrast, there was not a statistically significant difference between the percentage of breakups initiated by unmarried women and men. Women seem to have a predominant role in initiating divorces in the U.S. as far back as there is data from a variety of sources back to the 1940s, Rosenfeld said. I think that marriage as an institution has been a little bit slow to catch up with expectations for gender equality. So that's how left-wing academics present the data. They blame marriage for being a little bit slow to catch up with expectations. They don't blame men for cheating on their spouses because, according to the data, that's not what's actually driving the high rates of divorces initiated by women. But they also know they can't blame women because every academic, without exception, is forced to embrace feminism as a religion. So they settle on blaming the institution of marriage itself, which, ironically enough, is exactly the same conclusion that many anti-feminist red pillars come to, just by a different route. And yet, if you ask women, they'll tell you exactly why they're getting divorced. If you take a look at the data, what it tells you is that the primary reasons that women give for divorcing their husbands include that they feel they aren't getting enough attention, their husband is holding back their career, that they, quote, grew apart. In other words, the woman got bored. And like Sarah Stock, apparently, they wanted to try something new. And they convinced themselves that there's nothing wrong with, giving another man a try. And there's nothing stopping these women from walking into a courtroom, telling the judge they're bored, and taking 50% of their husband's assets, along with alimony. Even in conservative states, they can get away with that. They can seize your home, they can seize your retirement account. They don't even have to lie about what they're doing. I mean, that's where the law is right now. Among other reasons, this is a major problem because marriage is directly tied to the continued existence of civilization. Plenty of data shows, as you might imagine, that marriage is directly linked to fertility rates, which seems pretty obvious. If we want to reverse population decline, then encouraging young people to get married is the way to do it. But it can be a tough sell for young men as long as the law remains so archaic and so obviously rigged against them. So why haven't any conservative states abolished no-fault divorce? Or at the very least, why haven't more states abolished the idea that women are entitled to 50% of their husband's assets, even if they've been cheating on him the entire time? As far as I can tell, in the vast majority of states, whether they're community property states or not, a woman can cheat on her husband and still receive half his assets. There are exceptions, including Texas, but this is the norm, and that needs to change. In most cases, women should get $0 if they initiate a divorce. In most cases, they should get nothing. In fact, in many cases, they should be fined for wasting the man's time. That's not a punitive solution. It's one we obviously need because the current system is pathological in how it destroys the lives of innocent young men. In fact, we should really be discussing criminal penalties for adultery. There'd be nothing unusual historically about dispensing prison time or fines or even corporal punishment for adulterers. What's unusual is having no such penalties in place at all. We are one of the few societies in history to not treat adultery as a criminal matter, and I see no evidence that our approach is in any way superior or brings about better results at all. It's tempting to think that reversing this entire system is impossible, but it's not. And more to the point, there's reason to believe that in general, conservative women, in general, are much less of a danger on this front. Take a look at this data from the U.S. General Social Survey, which was republished by the Substack Age of Infowars. It shows that the average number of children that are being born to left-wing families in the United States is declining significantly, and significantly more rapidly than the number of children who are being born to conservative families. In other words, left-wing birth rates are falling far faster than conservative birth rates. Conservatives are presumably involved in more stable and fulfilling marriages, the kind that aren't ended early due to an affair or a deceptive spouse or anything like that. So when you hear about falling birth rates and the collapse of civilization,
hey dude, if the left is just going to go extinct because their birth rates are so bad, I guess that's a good thing.
Say the first part again.
If they're just going to go extinct because their birth rates are bad, I guess that's a good thing.
The people who want to destroy civilization are going to destroy themselves first. And while that's not necessarily an ideal state of affairs, it's, you know, better than the alternative. And when you zoom out even wider, there's some other interesting data in the latest statistics on birth rates. According to preliminary 2025 birth rate data compiled by the CDC, which looks at the mother's ethnicity, white non-Hispanic birth rates have actually increased over the past year and now account for more than 50% of all known births. Meanwhile, births from virtually every other race and ethnicity have declined sharply, which is a big change from recent years. And that includes Hispanic births, Asian births, black births, Pacific Islander births. You know, the implication of this data is that foreigners aren't replacing the Native American population to nearly the extent that they were under the Biden administration. Closing the border and deporting illegal aliens has had a direct effect. It's reversed the demographic change that Democrats have been trying to engineer. Imagine what these numbers would look like if conservative states decided to actually do something to encourage even more marriages. That doesn't mean providing more welfare or handouts. There's plenty of evidence that, you know, from the Nordic countries, which have a lower fertility rate than we do, that more welfare doesn't produce more children. And more welfare definitely isn't guaranteed to provide more stable family units, as the civil rights era demonstrated in this country. What's needed is a rethinking of divorce law and the contracts that young men are being asked to enter into. And now, with all that said, how could I, after acknowledging these serious pitfalls, still promote marriage and family life? What's the upside? Been through all the downsides, pretty grim. How could it possibly be worth it, given all of them? That's the question, and it's a fair one. I saw a recent clip of Andrew Tate posing this exact conundrum, as he has many times. Here's just the latest example. Watch.
How big of an idiot is a guy that doesn't get a prenup?
How big of an idiot is a guy who gets married?
Oh, my girl is over there, my boy.
Yeah.
He's waiting on that.
Well, I'm sorry, but like...
So are you suggesting that marriage is out of the picture?
What do you gain? Non-emotional, like there's men who get married and they go, it's important because I love her. If you want to make emotional decisions, if you want to enter the world of emotional decisions with women, if you want to roll in the mud with a pig and lose, then that's fine. Yeah. But as a man, it's your job to be logical. And I'm sitting here saying, I'm not anti-marriage, just show me what I get. Yeah. You're asking me to agree to give away half my stuff if I argue with anyone at any point in the future forever.
Right.
You agree, I'm sitting here, I'm going to pay a whole bunch of money so her uncle can eat a lobster dinner. And I'm going to be publicly humiliated over the internet when her ex-boyfriend, who's silly, laughs that I'm walking her down the aisle in a white dress. Okay, cool. So what do I get? And the answer is, well, you get a wife. I already have a wife. I already have her.
You get a couple of years of happiness, a risk of divorce, risk of losing your money, and maybe some kids.
Yeah, well, I got kids anyway.
So it's it's a fair logical question, but the premise behind it is not fair. You know, I've already acknowledged that those of us on the pro-marriage side can sometimes be too quick to discount the possibility that a young man gets married and winds up humiliated, betrayed, and broke because of it. You know, we sometimes talk about marriage as though the divorce rate were 0%. On the other side, though, people like Tate talk about marriage as though the divorce rate were 100%, as if no couple in history has ever managed to stay faithful and monogamous till death do they part. Family isn't worth doing.
Channel. Okay, quick recap of what happened to the channel. Let me just go ahead and show you again for those that didn't see it. It's been a very frustrating 24 hours for me. But ultimately, I received an email, I'm sorry, I got a strike on the channel. And just so everybody understands, getting a copyright strike on your YouTube channel is pretty much a death sentence. It's a really bad, it's very scary, it's very stressful. The only time I've ever had strikes is when Naughty Dog hit me. And so you all know the story about Naughty Dog. This time it was for a company that I guess represents KTLA. They're part of Newswire. The company name is Storyful, and they I emailed them after I got a strike on the channel, and they said that that they would release my strike if I paid them, I think it's like $690 USD. And I was like, I'm not paying you to release this. It's fair use. Like, everything I do is fair use. I'm not an idiot. I'm not Hassan Piker here, just literally watching shit. I'm adding commentary. I'm making it transformative. But yeah, so they basically said they would not release the strike unless I paid them like $690, and then they then offered me to join their subscription for $1,000 a month to have access to all their videos. So I did a counterclaim through YouTube, and so YouTube reviewed my counterclaim, and now has right here. YouTube has so there's the video. The video was removed. You have one copyright strike. That was yesterday. And then the counter notification, the claimant has 10 business days to respond with evidence of court action. So they have to take me to court now and prove that I was not having fair use towards the footage, because this is what they do. The whole thing is that they send these out to try to scare creators into giving them money, and it's bullshit. It's a fucking scam. It's a horrible situation. The YouTube copyright system is completely broken. This is why a lot of people have moved over to Rumble. This is why I continue to stay on Rumble. And you know, I know a lot of, like, I bitch about Rumble all the time, but this is why I have a Rumble channel, and this is why I urge people to follow me on Rumble, because luckily, when I got this copyright strike, I thought I was going to lose the ability to run, to live stream for 7 days, because that's usually what happens when you get hit with a copyright strike on a live stream. You usually lose the ability to stream on that channel. But luckily that didn't happen. But I almost thought that I was doing CobraCast today as a Rumble exclusive. Talk to your lawyer, bro. Already got that set up. So attorney call is set up for next week. So I'll be informing them of everything. But yeah, crazy shit, man. And this is a tactic that these companies use, and they scare a lot of creators all the time. Now, I heard, I don't want to say the attorney's name, but I do want to get the feedback of the chat. A friend sent me the name. His name is, hang on, let me see if I can look it up to show you. Hang on, it's this right here. I can find it. So this is the attorney that I'm supposed to be talking to. Are you guys familiar with this guy? It should be good. So I'm looking forward to it. Apparently he's gotten a lot of people out of a lot of dicey situations. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. No, I do have an attorney call set up though. You knew that's where I was going. You knew that's where I was going. I'm obsessed with Breaking Bad, so of course I was gonna go there. But yeah, so we'll see. But follow on Rumble just in case. You never know. Zioni says the amount of counter signaling and blackpilling of Trump from these right influencers is insane. I am beginning to think they are paid by the Dems. That is a good question. I mean, I don't know if they're paid by the Dems, but there is there is a huge financial, motivator to go with the anti-Israel narrative and all of that, because people eat that shit up, dude. Like, they seriously, like, this is why I've fought so hard against that crowd, because that crowd has one opinion that they want to hear, and if you don't give that opinion, they'll turn on you. And I don't want people that are single issue voter mindset bullshit. I don't want those types of people that make up the audience that we have, because those people will always turn on you. Whether it's the anti-Israel crowd, whether it's the identity politics crowd, whether it's, any of these crowds that their sole focus is one fucking issue, and if you don't line up on that issue, they will turn on you. I don't like that shit. I like people that can actually have some critical thinking, and, I've said many times that I think the Israel issue is a very there's a lot of questions, a lot of valid questions that should be asked of Israel's involvement in United States politics. I think that there's a lot of questions about our politicians being in bed with Israel. I think those are all valid questions that should be asked and discussed. The problem is that the autistic fucks that make up that crowd aren't interested in a conversation. They're only interested in hearing Israel bad, Jews did everything, and if you disagree, then you are wrong and you are paid by Israel. At that point, I just like to meme on those people because it doesn't really matter. Fuck them. Let them cry. And that's up the Elijah Schaefer and the girl that he was hooked up with. Like, look, I don't care what people do in their private time. It's not my business. But when your business has been to try and defame President Trump as a conservative, and you've been running with this, I live by conservative values, and I live my life like as a Christian, and blah, 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 and Donald Trump is not living up to the Christian way. Meanwhile, you're exposed as being a piece of shit, projecting out there. That's where my interest level, goes, huh, that's interesting. So
are you hungry right now?
Saying Trump killed MAGA, Trump ruined this, Trump ruined that.
But I'm hungry at this time every
suddenly
day.
You were.
So far, I haven't done anything different.
And so it's just, those that preach the loudest.
Think you'll be able to make it through this day or whatever?
It's as simple as
that. Yeah. Well, what I'm gonna do, instead of having a meal, I'm gonna go across the street, get a drink from Tim's, and get some beef jerkies for some protein. That's all I'm gonna eat. Because I don't want to go, because I worked on my legs / glutes yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it truly.
I just want to make sure I have some protein.
That point of them saying, like, we cannot remove the strike if we don't receive payment is fucking crazy, dude. It really is. Like, we can't remove the strike from your channel if payment's not received. It's like, okay. I'm coming. Listen, man. If somebody is wants to claim this, or if they're unhappy that if there's a YouTube channel that says, hey, I would rather you just not react to my shit or use my shit, I'll be like, all right, that's fine. Okay, if that's what you want. Like, I'm not
for a drink.
Getting a pissing contest with somebody, but when I come into the conversation in good faith and they respond with, hey, if you don't pay us, we're not removing this. It's like, oh, okay, well, I have a legal right to cover stuff under fair use. I have that. I know these rules. I've been doing this long enough, so we'll see what happens with it. I'll keep everybody updated. Dark Warlord says, did you call someone a ninja again? Not today. Nubbin says, being careful tax. Og Dog says, who asked? You did. That's a question mark, right? So you asked. Gerald Armstrong says, Jeremy's channel is under attack. Emo says, fuck KTLA 5 tax. Slain Hope says, Milo has been tweeting out his text with Elijah Schaefer. He has. I don't know much about Milo Yiannopoulos, but he seems to have dirt on everybody. Dude, Tree Bear, I just put this fucking meme up. You've already turned this around? Dude, Tree Bear, that is insane. Like, that is crazy, dude. Holy crap. What's happening, man? I saw Harley Davidson's accurate. We had the Savannah Guthrie story, and that one just keeps getting wilder and wilder. So at this point in time, President Trump has basically put full, support behind this case. I personally, I still have a lot of questions about that, and I covered it a little bit earlier, but whatever. I guess we'll see what happens. The whole story is just, it's almost too much to kind of filter through to see what the truth is and isn't. So, let's see if we have an update on this. Give me just a second. I just got off the Mario Kart stream, so okay, here we go. Here we go, right here. All right, here we go.
From Savannah Guthrie, let's watch it together. Go.
So this was Savannah Guthrie's video that she just released on social media. We covered this a little bit earlier, and I was not convinced that this felt very staged and very strange. But whatever, you know, people go through trauma and tragedy differently, but you know.
Of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom. Yes.
Dude, wear your good shirt, honey. Being from Alabama, I fucking know that line. Honey, wear your good shirt, okay?
We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses.
We're not this whole thing again.
Adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge.
No, they're not. Never mind. Okay, they're only playing this fucking video. My bad. I thought that they were actually going to talk about some new updates to it, but apparently not, because I just kind of went through it, and no, they're not. So I'm not going to make you sit through that whole video again, but oh my God, this might be worse. This might be a worse thing to put you through. But I do have some interesting news, because I didn't know this was actually something that was going on. Did you guys know Nancy Grace is still alive? Because I did not know Nancy Grace was still alive, but apparently Nancy Grace has something to say about this. John Benet Ramsey's the last time I remember hearing Nancy Grace's name.
The home of Nancy Guthrie after a flurry of police activity within the last couple of hours. At the same time, a desperate search for Nancy is underway. So, what will it take to solve the case and bring this 84-year-old grandmother home safe and sound and get her the medicine that she desperately needs? Here with more reaction analysis, the host of Crime Stories with Nancy Grace on Fox Nation. Nancy is with us. Okay, this has been your life's mission, your passion, your vocation in life, and you have studied more crimes than any other one person that I know. Let's look at and unpack, as I've been saying, all this new information.
Oh, her, she's scary. A lot of you were like, who's Nancy Grace? Who's Nancy Grace? Oh, her. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Nancy Grace, I haven't seen her in years. She doesn't look terrible for how old I figure she is.
That we have, and that post by Savannah and her brother and sister on Instagram, what do you glean from that?
Number one, it's heartbreaking and excruciating to watch, but we have to watch. And this is what I discern. I discern, number one, law enforcement absolutely knew
okay.
the statement was being...
I retract my previous statement. We got a close-up. I retract my previous statement. Previous statement has been fully retracted. I apologize. I was wrong.
Made. They probably helped them prepare it. I know Savannah. Savannah would not go rogue. We work together at Court TV. She's covered many, many cases like this. She knows what's happening. She would not go rogue and do this against law enforcement's decision, much less the FBI, for Pete's sake. Of course they knew, and they probably coached them or helped them. Number one.
So again, I want to, just for the audience that's not aware of what is going on, Savannah, and I'm not an expert on this, Savannah Guthrie is the Today Show host. She's been doing this for a long time. Her 84-year-old mother has been reportedly kidnapped, okay? Reportedly kidnapped. Now, what gets weird about this is apparently there's a ransom letter, and the people that have her are demanding money. Now, apparently this old lady lived alone and was in need of medical attention, yet Savannah Guthrie, who has been in media for a long time and has tons of resources, did, I guess, just let her mom live alone. Now, for those that need a little more context here, October 15th, 2020, during an NBC News town hall in Miami, Savannah Guthrie, in the place of the second presidential debate, when Guthrie pressed Trump to publicly disavow and distance himself from Q. So here we go.
Oh, fuck.
Let me ask you about QAnon. It is this theory.
Dog, you're making it wrong, dog. You gotta start all over.
Nice.
The hinge points are all misaligned, you fucking moron. It's not gonna work. It's structurally unsound. It's not up to empire regulations, dog.
A satanic pedophile ring, and that you are.
I remember this now, because I didn't remember who Savannah Guthrie is. I remember this. I remember this. This is amazing.
Theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring, and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely not true, and that disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate.
Trump is always sharp as a knife, always on point.
Doesn't necessarily make it fact.
Here we go.
QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it.
They believe it is
If
a
you'd like
satanic
me
cult
to
run by the deep
study the
state.
subject, I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are, and how vicious they are, and I know how they are burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by
Republican
Republicans.
Senator Ben Sass said, quote, QAnon is nuts, and real leaders call conspiracy theories conspiracy theories. Why not just say it's crazy and not true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, I remember her now. I remember her now. The fact that she now, this evil woman who's more concerned with making Trump disavow a group of people that want pedophiles brought to justice than to actually find out, like, maybe what's going on. What is this all about, Mr. Trump? Have you ever looked into this? And are you interested in investigating this more? No.
Let me ask you another thing.
Let's waste the whole show. You start off with white supremacy, I denounce it. You start off with something else. Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more.
Let me just tell you, what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia. And I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree with
There's not a satanic pedophile cult being run by.
I know
You
nothing
don't know that? Okay.
No, I don't know
You
that.
just this week.
Do you know that?
Okay.
And now here we are all this time later, and she needs Donald Trump to step in to save her mother. It all comes full circle. It all comes full circle.
What else does it tell me? To take the ransom notes seriously. There's a lot being thrown around in the media that is it real? Is it fake? Is Bitcoin? Blah, blah. Well, apparently that note had something in it that made Savannah Guthrie, who knows the law like the back of her hand, try to reach out and speak to whoever sent it. That tells me that possibly the description in the note was accurate. Only the family and law enforcement would know that. And they have chosen, Savannah and her brother and sister have chosen to engage with whoever wrote those notes. There's something in that note is accurate.
Okay, so I agree with you. I can't imagine that they would go out there with this statement and basically...
What if this was never supposed to hit the mainstream airwaves? What if this thing has gotten so out of hand that now they're panicking? Just throwing ideas out there. I'm just asking questions. What if this was a personal issue that they were dealing with and they set it all up, and now that it's gotten national attention and now President Trump's involved? Uh-oh.
Asking for proof of life, talking about a willingness to talk. I don't think they would do that at all without taking into account the real possibility that law enforcement deep down believes this is a very real possibility of a kidnapping and a ransom. Now, those cases are treated very specifically. How would you imagine this now begins to unfold?
Well, we've got to wait now. We're playing their game, the perpetrator's game. One other thing I can glean from this, Sean, is that there's been a lot of speculation. It's from it's an insider, very close to the family. I think if the family thought that, they would not be speaking on Insta to an unknown party. I don't think you would see this happening. What we're seeing, this extraordinary moment right now.
I'm looking in the.
How long did it take you to make those Star Destroyers, dog?
I've been looking in the comments
10
section,
hours?
Just since Mario Kart ended and watching, because like I'm looking right now at a comment
fucking
section,
piece of shit,
and there's
dude.
a lot of people that are just not buying this shit. Like, this is on Laura Loomer's post, and she's like, I'm
Can't even
praying
answer
for
a simple
them and all that.
goddamn
You got
question,
people who are
dude.
like, I'm not evil or heartless.
Faggot said 10 hours, and maybe it took 2 minutes.
We got breaking news.
Whoa.
And I pray this one is found and safe, but something about this entire story just doesn't feel right. I don't think the ransom thing is legit. It's likely someone she knew well. Like, there's a lot of people that are questioning this, and I'm on the same page with the people questioning this. Something about this just is not adding up.
Proof of life, and it can't be some
Ching
AI
chong.
image. They want to
Ching
know she's
ching
alive. They want something in the
chong.
background to show she's alive. It's got to be something that strikes them as real. And again, we're playing the perps game. I don't like that. We're going to have to wait on them to respond, see what the response is. What if we don't hear from them for another day, 2 days, 3 days? Did you notice it took a long time for the ransom note to appear?
Would you rather get overrun with Chinese people or Indians?
Chinese.
Savannah and her family have been through
Chinese?
HELL because they haven't come forward and spoken until now.
Is there any specific reason for that, or?
I could give you many, but I'll just give you this. Do Chinese people shit on beaches and or on the street?
Let's just assume for a second here that this is a legit story. for a moment, let's just assume this is all legit.
But you
and
want
there's
them?
no funny business
You'd rather
going
get
on.
overtaken
All
by
right?
them?
Okay, we're going
I'm
on
gonna
a
get
story
overtaken
here,
by
okay?
one. Yeah.
All of this is legit. All of this is true. This poor old
Okay,
woman
so
has
you'd
been
rather get
kidnapped
overtaken by the
and by
Chinese,
just
but
some
you
crazy
said
lunatic who knew that her
they
mom,
shit on the
that
beach
her
and in the
daughter
street,
was a
but you
famous
still
news
prefer
anchor, and
them
he
over
wants money.
Indians.
Let's just assume that for a minute, okay? And then
Okay, so
Donald Trump,
what do
a
you want?
person
The
that
Indians are the
Savannah
ones that
Guthrie
shit on
has
beaches and on the
been
street.
very much against,
I
very
swear you just said the
mean
Chinese.
and hateful,
No.
and dismissive of.
Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna
That
go back
man
and stream.
that
See
Savannah
if I can
Guthrie
do that.
has been so dismissive of has now stepped up to put the full federal government behind it. And let's just hypothetically say that Donald Trump and the federal government and the FBI find her mother safe and sound and bring her back home and hold the people accountable that did it. Savannah Guthrie might, for a week, praise President Trump, and then she will go back to hating him. Guaranteed that she will do that. Like, there's nothing he can do. And I'll go back to this interview right here and the way she talked to him, the way she was dismissive of him, the way she talked down to him. One more time. Just listen to the way she talks to him.
While we're denouncing, let me ask you about QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely
Fix your
not
goddamn
true?
mic, dude.
She hates President Trump. She hates him.
Disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it.
They believe that it's
If
a
you'd like
satanic
me
cult
to
run by the deep
study the
state.
subject, I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are and how vicious they are, and I know how they're burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by
Republican
Republicans.
Senator Ben Sasse said, quote, QAnon is nuts, and real leaders call conspiracy theories conspiracy theories. Why not just say it's crazy and not true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Let me ask you another thing.
Let's waste the whole show. You start off with white supremacy. I denounce it. You start off with something else. Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more to miss.
Let me just tell you what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia, and I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree.
But
with
there's not a satanic pedophile cult
no
being run
idea.
by-
I know
You
nothing
don't know
about
that? Okay.
No, I don't know
You
that.
just this
Neither
week.
do you know that.
Okay.
What a Chad. What a Chad. And yet here he is stepping up to see if he can find her mother. Tutan Tommy says, watch YouTube vid at 1 minute in. Title is Trump denounces white supremacy. Sidestep squad. Oh, yeah. That's exactly it right there. There you go. This is what we were just reacting to. So there you have something is fishy 100%. Yep. Nick Too Shy for 20 says, don't be shocked if this Savannah Guthrie thing turns into another Juicy Smollett thing. We all know how that turned out. It's going to be hilarious if it does. Also 199. Thank you. Maximus America says Pizzagate and QAnon, the amount of gaslighting and dismissal that was taking place around anything with PDF files is absolutely shocking. Truly sick people. Agreed. Very much agreed. All right, let's get back to
she
this.
was following the directions of law enforcement. And now
Oh,
she's
no.
I hope that makes everybody happy.
So is this location that they keep showing, is this the mother's house? They keep showing this really nice house. Really nice house, nice setting. Was this the mother's house?
I hope that makes everybody happy so we can now focus on finding Nancy Guthrie.
Okay, let's go back to what we know. Why did they...
So that is the mother's house. We saw it earlier, too, when they were talking about it. This is a beautiful house. Now, I don't know how things are. I don't know what the cost of living is in Tucson, Arizona. But it's a beautiful house. Why did she live in this massive house? Massive, beautiful house all by herself? why? Like, if she's that wealthy and her daughter is a anchor for, CBS, I think, today. Is that today? I think so. Why wouldn't they have her a nurse that takes care of her?
Go back, and I know we're all speculating here, but there's got to be a reason why they went back to the mother's home today, why they went to the sister's home today. Now, they might have, this could be very innocent. They went to the sister's home maybe in preparation for this statement that they were going to release tonight. It could have been that simple an explanation. And I don't like that people run rogue. The media often rushes to judgment. They were wrong on Richard Jewell, wrong on Duke Lacrosse, UVA, Ferguson, Missouri, Freddie Gray in Baltimore. They're wrong a lot. So we don't like to rush to judgment. You never rush to judgment. But why do you think they went
Dog,
back to
why
the
don't
house
you
today? There
become
had
a
to be specific
trucker?
reason. And it's hard to believe in this day and age, Nancy, help me, that there are cameras everywhere. I know whoever did this ripped that camera out at Savannah's mother's house. I'm telling you right
Could
now.
recline the seat back, dog.
Yeah, it's sitting for fucking 10 hours. Dude. Nice,
Is
dude.
behind it. Mike sabotaged the
What?
cameras. Gus Fring
Can't you recline the seat back
ordered
there?
this. I'm just telling you, the FBI
While driving a
needs to be
truck?
asking the right
Absolutely
questions.
not.
Does anyone you know own a
Come on, it's
chicken
mainly just
joint?
straight highways, no?
Just saying.
At Nancy Guthrie's house.
Got a nice cozy cabin. You could listen to your fucking Alex Jones for 7 hours straight or whatever, however fucking long. Eat your goddamn shit. Go on Discord.
You cannot tell me in a neighborhood like that
Fucking lit,
that
dude.
there are not security cameras, surveillance throughout. And
I'm pretty
she
sure
was
there's a
taken
bed in the back of the
vehicle. She can't
cabin, no?
walk past 50 yards,
Fucking lie down
right?
whenever you need.
She was taken out that door. We know there's
Hey,
forced
I'll
entry,
just pull over on
but
the
they
highway.
came out of that front door from the blood that apparently has been identified.
I'm sure there's
as
like plenty of
Mrs.
truck
Guthrie's.
stops on the way,
The
you
blood
know.
ended there.
Buy
I
whatever
didn't know
you
there was
need.
blood. That's very bad. I did not know there was blood at the scene. That is not good at all.
Hey, you might meet like a hot like trucker girl. Like I've seen a couple of those on the internet.
She was put in a car. There's got to be a record of that car.
Pretty goddamn nice,
There's got
dude.
to be some cell phone data.
Yes, I did.
somewhere.
How did I know? I don't remember any reports of there being blood at the scene. I don't remember.
You got the build for it, dog. You're white.
So,
you got a beard. You know.
Well, I'm not an illegal immigrant, so it's going to be harder for me to get a license, dog.
92. Let's go, Raider. Thank you so much.
When there's a will, there's a way.
Supposedly on the porch. I might have repeated that, but I don't recall that. Jeremy, I don't remember how to tie my shoes. Dude, I don't remember earlier streams,
All
so
right,
I don't even know. I don't even know what the fuck's going on half the time. Here we go.
It's just a needle in a haystack right now. But regarding surveillance, I know they're in a vehicle, and I know we got to track that vehicle. But I want to point out one thing. It wasn't just.
I literally read it from the report last stream.
Your stomach isn't like hurting right now from like
Makes a
the
lot of
hunger.
The agents. They brought dogs.
I wouldn't say
Sean.
it's hurting.
They brought dogs. What
I
does
feel
that
better.
mean? Were they looking? Was she taken into the garage?
When I'm really hungry than when I've already eaten, but I still want to eat.
All right, Heir to the Empire. Thank you.
Around the area,
But at least
like
then I'm
out
not
into the
gaining
woods
weight
a little bit.
like a fucking
Did they get
madman.
a tip, or did they did they miss something? I thought they opened up the scene way too early. That's just me, you know, having handled thousands of crime scenes. But they went back to that scene. That scene could have been tampered with by now.
Fucking hell.
Insane.
It's usually when I don't eat for a while, my stomach, it obviously growls, but then it starts to like fucking hurt.
Specifically to seek out electronics that may be hidden somewhere.
Well, I get bloated sometimes when I'm hungry, but
Eric says, good God, these reporters are dumb. I'm literally hosting the show that you're watching and modding for, and I can't even remember that I referenced this blood on the scene earlier. So we don't have a whole lot of room to talk shit about them, okay?
But you're right, they did expand outside into the property. Okay, what do you think they're looking for?
I think that they may be looking for the approach into the home. There have now been reports of a male that does not live in the neighborhood that had been in the area leading up to the time that Nancy was taken. Are they trying to pick up a scent there? I think that they've gotten a tip.
There's a shot of that home. That is a... Now, again, I'm not familiar with Arizona. Like, I mean, I've been through there a few times, but that's a really nice home. I don't know if that's the standard home for this area, but that looks like a really nice home. And for her to be there all by herself is strange, considering that she's obviously from a wealthy family and she is at an age where she probably needs a live-in nanny or something like that.
Here, look at the stream.
Okay.
An 80-plus-year-old woman living alone was occupying that house.
Guess that's a big house.
It's not just a big house, it's a fucking gorgeous property.
Jeremy is the type of smart that would hire
great it's going to that.
You got me there.
Information, they had to go back and check it out, and they brought dogs. That's what
But she didn't fucking earn it?
And that's very serious to bring the dogs back out.
Well, I guess.
They're looking for some type of
Why don't we just...
What's your fucking problem?
We should give everything to the old people.
They're looking for a human.
Well, I'm asking, did she earn it? Who is she?
Okay, so why are you... She's obviously...
I couldn't care less if she's...
How do you
know
looking for drugs, Nancy Grace? How do you know
80 years
that?
old, you should be living in that.
Why would you
So where do you want to be living when you're 80 years old?
Nowhere.
You want to be dead, dude?
Go back and check it out, and they brought dogs. That's what I can surmise right now, and that's very serious to bring the dogs back out. They're looking for some type of human scent, I believe. I don't think they're looking for electronics, and they're not looking for drugs. They're looking for a human.
You know how some people, they like expensive cars? Maybe some people just like expensive homes, dog. You ever think of that?
Yeah, no 85-year-old should be driving a car like that.
But, you know, as you pointed out last night on this program, not a significant amount of blood that would indicate that she was dead when she left that house. That means that she was taken out against her will, according to law enforcement. Walk us through. I mean, I think I would conclude if they wanted to kill her,
Let's
they
deal
would
with
have killed her
this
right
person.
then and there on Saturday. Okay, they wanted to take
Oh,
her.
it's
They
like
took
a news person
now,
that
as you look at each little piece of that
apparently got
puzzle, having gone over
kidnapped or something.
thousands and thousands of cases throughout your career, what does it tell you?
Don't know.
It tells me, number one, she
Still
was
under
upright
investigation.
and walking. She may have been assisting. She was not down. She was not being dragged. Prone.
So instead of being concerned for this old woman, you're fucking complaining that she had a nice house, dog. Nice.
It's almost as if you can see the steps through the fur.
Well, I'm not the only person thinking it. Other people, like the guy on the stream is like, why is a fucking old woman living in a house like that when she can afford to have people care for
a
her?
drop or two of blood on each tile. She's being led out of that house, and based on the blood, she is still upright. That's very significant.
Yeah, she's fucking bawling, dog.
She's alive at that point. That's what I think. If this were random, they would have killed her, robbed her, raped her, and left her body in that home. That's harsh. I know it's harsh, but I'm dealing with the facts. She's not there. That's not what this is about, which gives credence to the ransom notes. And now we see the family coming out. They're giving credence to the ransom notes too. Or are they grasping at straws? I don't think so. There's something in that note that rings true to the crime.
Very strange to talk about, like, raping an 84-year-old disabled woman. Like, what is wrong with you? That is such a weird thing to say. Like, that's like E. Carol Jean level stuff right there. That it's basically like, let me see if I can find that one with her and is it E. Carol Jean? Is that right? Is that her name? E. Carol Jean? with what's his name? Anderson Cooper.
Oh, welcome to my dream.
I think that's her name, if I'm spelling it right. E. Carol Jean and Anderson Cooper.
That 80-year-old woman made your fucking favorite music, dog.
She absolutely did not.
Prove it, dog. She probably listens to the same music as you, dog.
Yeah, man, you listen to the same song that I do? Yeah. You can have the lottery. Fucking piece of shit.
Shit.
That's all hard to do.
Fuck.
There just in time, even what's his name, George? I don't know what's his name. Sawyer. Is that like soy sauce? And he goes, oh, you got here just in time. He had like 2 other people in there.
Looks like Microsoft is declining.
What? Declining what?
Stock.
I wonder if that's because Bill Gates is all over the files.
Probably has something to do with it. Still ain't got no juice in my house. They got pepper at that convenience store, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
You heard about burrito poisoning?
Yeah.
We had a fire in Homestead Bay, which the forensic team is still there. We got it all closed up. I don't know. I just know something is suspicious. So like, we're noticing anything wrong with the farm. Like kids like in like this, and there has to be kids. So the apartment above it would have been disinfected too. No, they were up and running after being an island. She used her coupon for the boat.
Dog, what's wrong with your mic?
Fuck you, man.
Oh, I hear like popping and like you're hitting your mic.
Because the mic is on the fucking PlayStation controller.
Damn,
Hitting
dog.
the buttons.
You fucking piece of shit. So wait, the mic and the speakers on that shit?
Yep.
Yeah.
ever see that video? The jet crashing into people?
The Russian one? The
Know which one I'm talking about?
Is it
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit's fucking hilarious. Holy fuck. Do you know what happened there?
I can't remember if he misjudged or if something went wrong. But I think he misjudged.
God, dude.
Which is really easy to do in a plane like that. So fast and... Oh wait, have you seen... Hold on.
What happens to a body when it gets hit by a jet that fast?
Missed, I don't know. Here, watch this.
What?
Tell me when you're on the stream.
Okay, yeah.
So, he's... Okay. Just watch. So just notice he's always he's an afterburner the whole time, which doing that on the way down is basically a death sentence when you're that low. See that?
Yeah.
And he didn't eject either.
Damn, dude, look at all the other jets.
Yep. That's what it's like at an airport show.
Well, good for him, dude.
He gone. Have you seen that F-16 at that Polish air show?
Augured in?
Well, the one, yeah, he's trying to pull up, but he's too low.
Yeah.
Alright. I'll be on later.
Okay.